Thank you for joining me today on Zach's Car Content. Today we will be testing tensile strength of ratchet straps. Taking the motor out of this thing just to see how it goes. Shouldn't be too hard considering that it's almost completely apart. That's my engine hoist right there, surrounded by cylinder heads, crankshaft, brake rotors, pistons, chainsaw. So before I even start the whole process, I have to freaking clean up the shed just so I can get this thing out of here. Corvair crankshaft. It's always good to have laying on the floor. What else? Corvair cylinder head. Also a good floor taker. Floor space taker-upper. Another Corvair cylinder head. These are 300Z front rotors. Steel chainsaw. I don't even know what that is. An engine hoist. A hoist made just for engines. So looking from back here, you might be able to tell the arms on the engine hoist are going to hit the tires. So I'm just going to go ahead and jack up this side here, put it on a jack stand, and take the wheels off real quick. So that way you can slide the hoist all the way under the truck without hitting it. Wasn't too bad. Just a couple bugs in there, standard. Of course, for some reason, these trucks are 6-lug. Nobody knows why. They just have 6 lugs just to be obtuse. There's no other reason. They don't need 6 lugs. There's no real benefit for a truck this small needing 6 lugs. It just doesn't make sense. It's just completely pointless. Look at that. That is all built up. Spider webs, cobwebs. There is a spider. Can you see it? That's all built up over 40 years or so. You see this here? This is a completely broken and failed hood hinge. It's actually not even attached on the bottom, like underneath of the cowl panel. So that'll be fun to deal with later. That's not today's problem. Look, it is completely attached from wherever it's supposed to attach to in there. So that'll be something I either have to fix later, or if I can't find an adequate way to fix it, I'll just put hood pins straight through the hood, you know, put the studs right here and just drill 2 holes in the top of the hood there or something. Alright, the last hood hinge disconnected. Now I'm just going to come in the center here, lift up, set the prop rod down. I'll just pick this up and take it somewhere else. So now I'm just going to try to take these motor mounts out. Oh, I think we're almost at the end of the stud. And then we'll finger it the rest of the way. There you go. Look at that. That is the whole nut that holds it on there. That M8 by 125 nut, I believe. That's it. You get 2 of those. They hold your motor in. So I guess don't go around losing them. We're gonna go ahead and get those 2 bolts out, which is the transmission mount. I'm gonna probably just cut the clutch save, the slave cylinder line, and then make sure all the wiring is disconnected from the top side of the motor. I'm just gonna hook this up to the engine hoist. I mean, it's sort of wrapped around the engine. It'll either work or it won't. Let's get this thing hooked up. That's not ideal. How very unfortunate for it to not be ideal. Okay, let's take it up. This is where we test the tensile strength of the ratchet, as I mentioned before. So I think what's happening right now is, see how it's obviously the motor's coming off on the mount on the driver's side, but not on the passenger side. I mean, obviously the nut is off of the stud, so I've just been trying to persuade it. All right, no more nice games. I've had enough playing nice. Oh yeah, I don't care if I put a window in the block, because it's going to the scrapyard anyways. I think that knocked it loose a bit. Let's just pull it up now, see what happens. I'm gonna sit you right there. Is that good enough? How about there? Does that work for you guys? Good, I'm glad. Thanks for the input. I think I got it. All right, it's pretty much off the stud now. Okay. Ooh, and that's gonna be a problem. I'll try to show you. The front of the oil pan is hitting this toe link in the front. It's actually part of the steering rack assembly, because the steering box is there, then it goes underneath, and that's what passes it from side to side. So I'm gonna resort to my good old friend, the air cutoff wheel with no guard. They don't make them like they used to. And I know what you're saying. Shouldn't you use a guard? Well, yeah. Why don't you mind your business? Alright, I got that cut all the way through. I'm hoping I don't have to cut the other side. I'm thinking, yeah, it should bend out of the way now. So now, I should actually be able to pull this motor out. Right now we're just getting hung up on the slip yoke at the end of the transmission where it meets the drive shaft. It doesn't quite want to pop out. So upon further investigation, I will admit I may have made a bit of a silly. Wise man once told me that to first remove transmission, you must first remove shifter. Yeah, I don't know how I forgot about that. So I'm gonna pull that out, so then I can pull the motor out. I got that cover piece out for the floor. Now you can see the slip yoke actually did come out. It was just hitting the floor. The shifter was hitting the floor, so that's a really smart move on my part. Upon further review, I got the bolts to that front plate off. I assume you can see that, at least somewhat. I removed this extra dust boot here to find this clip has been replaced with like a piece of safety wire. That is definitely not original to this truck. So someone has had the transmission and or the shifter out of this thing before. I just wanted to show you that because that's a pretty ingenious solution there, old school solution to a problem. That shifter is just held in with a pin. So I'm just going to take my screwdriver here and hopefully it'll just come the rest of the way out. So I was actually able to get the pin out without cutting it, and now the shifter's out. Which means, finally, after an extra 30 or 40 minutes of wasting my time, and most likely yours, this motor should come out now. Alright, I'm going to try to pull it out a little bit. Good, now it's just completely stuck under the truck. The name of the game is progress. almost out now. Alright, hopefully the jack will go up a little bit higher, then we can actually get this thing out of here completely. Technically the motor's out now. I just have to have a tough time getting this to roll on the dirt, so I guess I'll deal with that. The issue I'm having right now, it's kind of heavy. Obviously it is a motor, and the engine hoist is sinking into the soft ground. I'm just going to get it up on a piece of wood so I can at least get it away from the truck. Alright, at least now it's further away from the truck. I'm just going to do that again, as it seemed to work okay. Just using a piece of 2x4 as leverage to lift up on the engine hoist, so that way I can set it on top of these square boards that I have. Now, that is the wrong way to take out an engine. I hope you're taking notes so you know what not to do next time. Now that it's out, I can get to these bell housing bolts easier. I'll actually separate the two pieces, put them in the truck, and I'll probably take them to the scrap yard. Alright, got the starter off. It's right there, obviously. I mean, looks like a starter to me. I think it should come apart now. Maybe. Here, I'll set you right there. Interesting. Alright, sorry you missed it, but I got the transmission to pretty much completely separate now. I think I should be able to. There we go. That is a Datsun L18 motor, and that is a Datsun 4-speed manual transmission. I got the transmission set over there. Engine hoist is moved out of the way. I got the oil pan off. And there is the internals. And you know, the flywheel, clutch, pressure plate, and the engine metal plate over there. And my table of tools. So, I'm just really taking this apart now to make it lighter, so that way I can throw it in the bed of the truck and take it to a salvage yard or scrap yard or something. I got everything out of the motor. You know, there's the crank, all the rod bearing caps, and honestly I'm surprised because those bearings, none of these bearings actually look bad. There's no trash in them. They look fine. This one, I think it's a little tore up from where I was picking at it with the screwdriver to get it out, but it's fine. Those rings are kind of crusty up against the cylinder walls, but also the fact that that's how much force it takes to move the rod in the piston. I can't actually sit here and move this, so it's just something got seized up or something got too hot. It basically just made it so that the pistons couldn't flex and they couldn't move in the block, I guess. That's pretty much going to do it for this video. In the next video on this truck, which may not be for a while, but anyways, we'll either be working on converting the front suspension to D21 Hardbody stuff, or I'll be trying to wedge a KA24 into that engine bay and be trying to make some sort of motor mounts or make anything happen. Or it might just be something simple. We might be you know, I might put carpet in it, or we might be replacing the drum brakes, or adding blocks to the rear, or, you know, cranking the torsion bars down. I don't know. Whatever part of my ADHD kicks in, that's what the next video is going to be. So stay tuned if you wish. Goodbye.